us to get together and enjoy the lovely words and phrases of the English language. With you every Sunday live from 2, with lots of fun and all the words and phrases of the English language. Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat and discover all the words and phrases of the English language. Learn together and have fun. Listen and laugh, it really can be done. Your learning journey has just begun. Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat and discover all the words and phrases of the English language. Learn together and have fun.
I would describe today as pleasant. It is a pleasant day. We have 23 degrees at the moment. Count them all. It is a beautiful day and it is really nice to be back with you. English Addict is with you again, coming to you live and direct from the birthplace of the English language. You know where it is. I know where it is. We all know where it is. Come on, Mr. Duncan. Get on with it. We've missed you. I'm back. The big question is, are you happy to see me back? Or maybe you are feeling a little disappointed. Hi everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy today? I hope you are feeling good today. And yes, I am back. I've been away. I've had a holiday. I must be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest. I did feel as if I needed a break. Sometimes in life we have to have a break from the things we do. And for the past couple of weeks I have had a lovely break. A beautiful holiday, you might say. Also, it was a surprise birthday present for me, celebrating my birthday as I was on the 12th of August. Yes, I am another year older, unfortunately. It might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. A lot of people say with age comes wisdom. As you get older, apparently, you become wiser. A person will gain wisdom. Wisdom. I like that word, wisdom. The way of looking at life, handling all of those difficult situations, all of those problems that might arise in your existence. As you get older, apparently, it becomes easier to handle all of those difficult things. I don't know how true it is. I will be honest with you. I'm not sure if I am wise. I don't feel as if I am gaining any more wisdom. However, it is interesting. Looking at the world around you as you get older, one of the difficult things I find is keeping up to date with the things that exist now around me. Things are always changing. And yes, I have talked about this before on my live stream about things changing. People don't like change. But unfortunately, as you get older, you find that things change. These days, frequently, quite often, things will change. So I am going to say to you now that I am a little bit wiser. One of the good things about becoming older, especially here in England, is you get all of your medicine free. So normally, if you have an illness or you become sick and you have to have some medicine, some pills, some tablets, you have to pay a charge for the medicine. However, when you reach that magic age that I reached a few days ago, suddenly you don't have to pay for those things anymore, which is very, very nice, I have to say. All I need now is to become sick, which I'm hoping I don't. I have been away. I've had a lovely time. We went away to a lovely country, a place we've been to before. I will show you very quickly where we went. In the following video, you will have some glimpses of the holiday that we've just had. And it was a rather nice time. Where did you go to, Mr. Duncan? Please tell us. Well, Mr. Steve and myself, by the way, it was a birthday surprise. Mr. Steve surprised me with this particular trip. We went to Italy. It was the holiday that I've just come back from, a birthday treat from Mr. Steve. We went all the way to Italy, a beautiful area called Tuscany. A very nice place, very distinctive landscape. Famous, of course, for its wine, a certain type of wine called Chianti. And I have to say, we did try some of the local Chianti, and I have to say, very nice. If you are a regular viewer, you will know that I love red wine very much, certain types of red wine. And I have to say, Chianti is rather nice, fruity. Some might say a little bit sour, but I like it. I like Chianti, and we did have a little bit of Chianti. Also, we had some champagne as well to celebrate my birthday, my big birthday. I am no longer young. What am I going to do? Something that happened during our trip. Now, I'm not going to say that this was dramatic, but it actually was dramatic. Very dramatic, in fact. Something did happen on the trip. Mr. Steve decided to rent a car. There are some differences between the roads in Italy and the roads here in England. For example, we drive on the opposite side to Italy. So we drive on the left, and in Italy they drive on the right. So if you are normally driving on the left, it is very strange when you have to suddenly drive on the right-hand side of the road. I have to say, Mr. Steve did a very good job. However, he was a little bit nervous and at times rather scared, but he did it. And there he is now, look, on the road, driving in Italy, just to prove that he was doing it. But it was very strange at first. Even I found it strange, of course, because I was on the wrong side of the car. So I was sitting where the driver normally sits. And I have to say, it did feel very strange, sitting on the wrong side of the road, driving on the wrong side. It almost felt as if we were going to crash into something. But there you can see the traffic coming the opposite way. Now normally we would be driving on the other side of the road in the opposite direction. But I have to say one thing, Mr. Steve did a very good job. We did have some moments where things did not go right. Mr. Steve took a while to adjust to driving on the opposite side of the road, but we did manage to visit a couple of places, and Mr. Steve did manage not to crash the car, even though we did have one tiny accident, just a very small accident, nothing serious, just some minor damage to one of the wheels, minor, small, almost insignificant. So if something is minor, we often describe it as small, almost insignificant. But I have to say the views from the car whilst we were driving along were lovely, I have to say. Mr. Steve said he enjoyed the landscape more in Tuscany than he does here in England. I'm not sure why, but anyway, there he was, Mr. Steve, proving that he can drive on the road in Italy. Apparently it's not an easy thing to do. So congratulations to Mr. Steve. Well done. He only crashed once, and it was only a very small crash. Nothing serious. Talking of things that are happening, we have the live chat. I haven't even mentioned the live chat. Hello to the live chat. Nice to see you here. Who was first? Oh, very interesting. Beatrice, you were first on today's live chat. Fresh from my holiday. Can I just say, one of the things I decided to do or not to do during my holiday was do filming. I did very little filming. I did not film much. I didn't make any lessons. I think I recorded a couple of videos, but nothing big. So I did promise myself that I was going to take a rest, relax, take it easy. So that is what I did during my time in Italy. And I have to say it was rather nice. It was lovely taking a rest, I have to say. A couple of complaints. First of all, it was very hot. 37 degrees one day, and we did try going for a walk. It was very difficult, but we did manage to go for a walk on one day. But it was so hot. It was scorching. That's how hot it was. Very hot. The other thing, of course, because we were going in the summer, there were lots and lots of insects around, including mosquitoes. And I have to say, Mr. Steve and myself, we were both bitten a lot by mosquitoes, especially on our legs. So we did get quite a lot of mosquito bites. In fact, you might see some of them on my arm. Actually, they are starting to fade now, but there are some bites on my arm from the dreaded mosquitoes. Anyway, we survived all of the hazards. And, of course, a thing I didn't mention, all of the staff at the hotel gave me a lovely surprise party as well. Cake, champagne, everything. So that was also rather nice as well. Mr. Steve did buy me another gift. He bought me a new watch. So now I have 2 nice watches to wear when I go out. So thank you very much, Mr. Steve, for the wonderful gifts. I almost feel as if I don't deserve it, to be honest with you. And it was wonderful that I managed to have a lovely trip, but also a lovely gift. And Mr. Steve replaced one of the lights in my studio. If you remember, a few weeks ago, one of the lights in the studio exploded, blew up. And Mr. Steve also replaced that as well for my birthday. And I had no idea that all of those things were happening. I will say one thing, he is very good at keeping secrets. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. He managed to keep it all a secret. Hello to the live chat. Nice to see so many people here. Of course, the star of the show is not me. It is the English language. That is why we are here. You may have noticed, or you might notice generally in life, there are always new trends coming along. Things that people suddenly become very interested in. Things that people suddenly find fascinating, or maybe something they feel as if they must do. Here is an interesting thing. I've noticed over the past couple of years that more and more people are becoming aware of how much protein they eat. Here is the word. I will put it on the screen. Protein. It is something that your body needs in which to function and also survive. But I've noticed over the past couple of years, certainly during this year, that more and more people have become obsessed with how much protein they take into their body. And apparently a lot of people don't get enough protein in their daily diet. The amount of food they eat every day quite often contains very little protein. So I've noticed in the shops there are many snack bars, many drinks, all sorts of supplements that you can buy that have protein in them. But also there are many types of natural food as well that contain protein. So I'm not sure, should I be worried about the amount of protein I eat? How do you know if you are eating the right amount of protein? Meat has protein. Many different types of food have protein, but apparently we are not eating enough of it. And that might be the reason why these days lots and lots of different types of food have protein in them. Chocolate, snack bars, biscuits, even energy drinks. A lot of them will have protein in them as well. So is it a strange thing to worry about? Should I wake up in the morning worrying about the amount of protein in my body? I don't know really. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. It is a difficult one. We are looking at some subjects today besides my holiday, besides my diet, and also besides my mosquito bites. We have an English subject. We are looking at words and phrases connected to use, useful, and useless. The last one is a word that I'm very familiar with. Hello to Vitas. Protein is a sports supplement that consists of a concentrate of natural proteins. Yes. A lot of sports people take protein in their energy drinks or in their general diet. But I sometimes wonder if we worry too much about it. Maybe we can become too obsessed, especially these days, because it would appear that you can't buy food, any type of food, that doesn't have extra protein added to it. So I do find it a rather interesting thing whether we need to be so worried about it or not. I am not an expert on diet or nutrition, but I still worry about it. Maybe I don't need to worry. Mr. Duncan, you don't need to worry about that. There is nothing to worry about at all. We'll take a quick break and then we are back because we have something to look at today. We are looking at words and phrases connected to use, useful, and also useless as well. All of that coming in a few moments from now. Keep it right here. This is English Addict.
I'm a big boy now.
Yes, we are back. English Addict is back. I have had a lovely rest, a wonderful holiday, and a super duper birthday as well. It was all very nice. Thank you very much for your greetings. I received a lot of greetings concerning my birthday. Thank you very much for that. We have a hot day today. Well, I suppose when you think of how hot it can get here in England, there it is. So that is the view outside at the moment. We do have around 24 Celsius here, much cooler than it was in Italy. I have to say, it was very hot during our time in Italy, 37 37 Celsius. Think about that for a second. Very, very hot. Almost unbearable. Here we go then. We are going to take a look at words and phrases connected to a very interesting word that can be used in different ways. Not only that, but also it can be pronounced in different ways as well. There are lots of ways of using this particular word, and I would imagine, because of course I have already said the word quite a few times today. The words we are looking at are use, useful, and useless. Those are the words we will concentrate on. The word use. This word can serve in more than one way. It can be pronounced differently too. For example, we can pronounce the word use or use. Use or use, which we will look closely at as the lesson goes on. This word can serve more than one purpose. It can be used in more than one way. So here is the first one, use. Use. Use as a verb can indicate the active function of something as it is in the progress of being employed for a purpose. So I will briefly explain what this means. If you use something, you operate it, you are utilizing that thing, you are also employing that thing. You are putting it to a task. You are giving it something to do. So there are many ways of defining this particular word. In this situation, we are pronouncing it as use. It is used as a verb to indicate the active function of something as it is in the progress or the process of being employed for a purpose. For example, to use that thing. You use it. A very simple way of expressing that particular thing. You might use a spoon whilst eating. Maybe you are having your breakfast in the morning and you are eating cereal. You will use a spoon whilst eating. You might use a mirror whilst trying on new clothes. Maybe you are in the shop, or maybe you are at home and you are trying some new clothes on. You will use a mirror. You use that thing. You use it. You use something for a certain purpose. You employ that thing. So once again, we are using this very interesting word, employ. We often think of a person having a job. They will be employed. To employ is just to get a certain thing to carry out a task or work. You employ that thing. To utilize a thing for a purpose. If you utilize something, again, you are using it. You are using it for a certain reason, to carry out a certain task. Utilize. Another very interesting word. I think today we are going to look at quite a few interesting words, to be honest. To use is to put something to task. If you put something to task, it means you are going to get that thing to do something, to carry out a function or a job. The task is the thing it does. So your task is the job. Maybe you have something that you have to do. We can describe it as a task, something you must do. A tool is designed to be used to carry out a task. You can use a certain thing to carry out a task. Of course, quite often you will use your hands to do something. Hands are very useful. You might describe them as tools. So even your hands are tools. Quite often you will use your hands to do things, to hold something, to fix something, to build something. You will use your hands. So I always think it's interesting to look at parts of your body as a type of tool. Your hands. I would say that of all the parts of the body that you use, especially the limbs, I would say your hands are the ones you use the most. Besides your legs, of course. To employ a person to do a task, you ask them to do something for you, quite often with some sort of reward, such as payment, money, salary. You use their skill or their ability. So maybe you ask a person to do something because you want to use their skill, the thing they are very good at. For example, you use a builder to repair the roof. So you are taking their service. They are doing it for you. You use their service. The builder will come to repair your roof. You use their service. To use the services of a business or a particular person, you will often pay to use them. You pay to use someone to do a job for you. To use something can also be to consume as well. You use something, quite often a type of thing that you need. Food, water, you use that particular thing. So to consume, to eat, drink, use. So that thing provides a service for you and also for me. When you eat food, it gives you nourishment. When you drink water, it also gives you valuable nutrients and, of course, keeps your body working nicely. You use the water. You use the food. You consume it to keep you alive. To use up can also mean consume all. So if you use up something, it means you use all of it. It is all gone. You've used it all. To use up can also mean consume all. You use up the water in a bucket. So maybe you have a bucket of water and you use up the water. Maybe you are washing your car, like Mr. Steve was this morning. Or maybe you drink the water in the bucket. You use up the water. All the water will be used. So quite often, if we say use up, it means you are using all of it. You use it up. Quite often you are consuming it or using it for a certain purpose. Once again, the word use is being used. The adjective form is used. The water is used up. Also, a thing that is not new can be described as used. A thing that is not new can be described as used. The water has gone. It is used up. A thing that is not new can be described as used. It is not new. Someone else has owned it. It is not a new thing. It is used. Used can also express or be expressed as the past participle of use. So this particular word can be used in more than one way. Used can be expressed as the past participle of use. You use something. You used that thing. I used some water to clean the window. We are stating that as the past, something you've already done. I used a key to open the door. I used a hammer to break the window. Use is the present. Used is the past. So when we are talking about the past tense of use, it is used. You have used it. You can use something now. You can use something later. You can use something soon. So as you can see, depending on the moment of time when that thing is happening, we can use something now, we can use it later, or we can use it soon. And then we have used. Something can be used yesterday, just, or a little. Now this last one I will explain. If you use something a little, it means you don't use it very much. A little often means not much. So something was used a little. It means it was not used very often or very much. Then we have user. This is a noun. The person using the thing will often be described as the user. For example, a computer user. So the person who is operating a machine or a computer is the user. A car user. You might describe Steve as a car user. He needs the car to go to work and to come back. He drives around in a car. We would describe him as a car user. A cash card user is a person who pays for things using their beep, 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 beep cash card. A cash card can be a credit card. It can be a debit card. It can also be a bank card. A person who uses one of those is a cash card user. That is the way they pay for things. There is another pronunciation of this word, and the way we pronounce it is use. Use. The use of something. So a few moments ago I was talking about use. Now we are looking at use. Use. The value of something as a tool or as a means of help. Its use. How something can be utilized or employed. Then we have useful. The word useful refers to something with a valuable use. Something that is useful has value in the fact that it can be used for something. If you use something, we can describe it as useful. It helps you. A thing that helps you to carry out a task or a certain thing is useful. A thing that can be used to do something with. We will often describe it as useful. A useful thing has practical functions. Once again, I will explain the word. Something useful has a practical function. A thing that you can use to do something. Something practical is something you are doing physically. A practical thing. Something you are doing for real. Something that is actually happening. Happens in a practical way. So if you use a tool or a device, we can say that that thing is practical. It serves a purpose. It is something you can use. That thing is useful. Next, useful is an adjective that shows the quality of a thing that can be used. So when we talk about quality, the quality of something, it is useful. It is a thing that is easy to use. Quite often we will describe it as convenient. A convenient thing is something useful, something that can be used easily is useful. For example, a pen is a useful thing to have. It is always useful to have one of these somewhere, although quite often you will find that you don't have a pen with you. A person might want to give you their phone number, or maybe you have to write something down that is very important. Someone might say, "Do you have a pen? Do you have a pen? You can write it down." And quite often you don't have a pen. I don't know why, but we often find that we don't have a pen nearby when we need one. Even if in your house you have thousands and thousands of pens, if you need one, you can't find it. Why? Why does that happen? I don't know. A smartphone is a useful device. I would imagine many of you at the moment are watching this live stream on your mobile phone or your tablet device. We might say that a smartphone is a useful device, something that can help you to carry out many different tasks. A screwdriver is a useful tool, something you can use. This will be very useful if you are building a piece of furniture. Maybe you have to build your new bookcase. Perhaps you've bought one of those flat pack furniture boxes that you have to open, and then you take all of the parts out, and then you have to put it together using a screwdriver. So it is fair to say that a screwdriver is a very useful tool. It is something that comes in very useful. A person. Now this is interesting. A person who works hard is useful. Quite often you will find a person who is able to carry out a certain task or do a certain job. Maybe they work hard. Maybe they are a good worker. We can say that person is useful. They are a useful worker. They are very good at what they do, and they will work hard. They will put lots of effort into their work. They are willing to work hard. So even a person can be useful, especially in a certain job or a certain field where you need a person or an individual to have a certain skill. A useful tool can be described as handy, convenient. Something is at hand. If you have something at hand, it means it is something that is convenient, something you can reach for, something you can take very easily. It is at hand. A person or a thing that is practical. Something practical has a certain ability. It can be used in a certain way. A person can be practical if they are very good at carrying out tasks. A tool can be described as practical. It is very useful. You can use that thing for many different jobs. We can also describe something as indispensable. A very interesting word. Indispensable. If something is indispensable, it means it is valuable. It is something you want to keep. It is something that is useful, something important to you. Is indispensable. You might say that your smartphone is indispensable. You could not live without it because it is very useful for carrying out all of those important tasks. Then we have the opposite of useful. Something useful is good, helpful, and then we have the opposite, a thing that serves no purpose or cannot function as it should. It is useless. You might describe something as useless if it no longer works, if it doesn't function. Something broken, something that no longer functions as it should. A useless thing serves no purpose. It is useless. It is not fit for the purpose. When we say that something isn't fit for the purpose, it means it cannot do the thing that it should. It cannot do it. It is useless. Something might be described as not practical. Something you can't do, something that is impossible, something that can't do the thing it is supposed to do. We can say it is not practical. That thing cannot work. It will not function. We cannot do it. It is not practical. It is a useless thing to try. Then we have things that are damaged in some way. Something is broken. A broken tool, such as a pencil. A smashed object, such as a cup. Maybe you are drinking your tea one day and you drop your cup on the floor and it smashes to pieces. It is broken. And then, of course, something can be worn out. It means that thing no longer does the task that it's supposed to. A worn out thing is no good. It is useless. For example, this tyre is now worn out. It cannot function as it should. Something that is worn out is useless. A useless pencil, a useless cup, a useless tyre. All of these things cannot be used anymore. They are all useless. A person. Oh, now this is something that I've had said to me many times in my life. A person might be described as useless. Someone might be described as useless, a useless person. A person might be called useless if they are not good at doing something. I would say, to be honest with you, I would say there are many things that I am useless at. I'm sure there is something that you are useless at as well. Something you can't do, something you are not very good at doing. You might describe it as being useless. That person cannot do it. They are useless. They might say they are useless at doing something. A person might actually say they are useless. For example, I am useless at certain things that I can't do. I don't have the ability, I can't do it. Maybe I don't have the patience. It can happen. Sometimes you want to do something very quickly, very fast, but you can't because you are useless at it. You can't do it very well. For example, a certain skill or a subject they find hard to understand. So this is the one that refers to me. I'm useless at maths. I am useless at mathematics. I have to say, I am not very good at maths. I don't know why. Some people have the type of brain that is very good at mathematics. I would say that I am not good at mathematics. I might even say that I am useless at mathematics. Because I was at school, I was really bad at maths at school. I know I've mentioned it before, but I was terrible at mathematics. My maths teacher used to always pick on me. I was not very good at maths. In fact, I would say that I am useless at it. A certain skill that a person might find hard to do. Maybe they have no ability at that particular thing. So maybe one particular thing, one thing that you are not very good at. I am not very good at mathematics. However, I am very good at art. I'm very good at drawing. I'm very creative. But I'm not good at mathematics. Some people, of course, are not very good at art. Some people can't draw very well. Some people are not artistic. A person might say, I'm useless at art. I can't draw. Whenever I try to draw something, it never looks like the thing it's supposed to. It always looks wrong. It always looks strange. It almost looks as if a child has drawn it. Hello, Claudia. Nice to see you here today. So there you have it, lots of words referring to a word that we do use very often. You use that thing. You are using it. Something is useful. Something is useless. There are many ways of expressing that particular word. I hope that's been interesting and I hope it's been useful. Don't forget, you can watch this live stream again. The lesson can be watched with captions later on, so there will be lovely captions on the screen for you later. You can watch this again. I think it's fair to say that we all have things we can do and things we can't do. We are not good at everything. We have our strengths and our weaknesses. We have things that we are good at and things we are bad at. That is what makes us all individuals, I suppose. Claudia says, I am not good at mathematics either. I think a lot of people have difficulty with mathematics. Sometimes it is just fear. I think some people are just afraid of mathematics. Maybe I am. But the one thing I do know, at school I was bad. I was terrible at mathematics. However, I was very good at English at school. I always did very well at English at school, which of course helped me a lot in my life. Thank you very much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. It is very nice to be back with you after my break. Almost 3 weeks, I think. Is it 3 weeks or 2 weeks? 2 weeks, I think. 2 weeks I've been away, but now I'm back. And guess what? I am back with you next Sunday as well. Back with you again. Live from 2 p.m. UK time. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I really hope today's live stream has been useful to you. Thank you for your lovely company today. Oh, I noticed, by the way, that we have Luis Mendez is here today. Thank you, Luis. It's been nice having your company. Also, we had Manisha. Hello, Manisha. Manisha Devi. Hello to you. It's nice to see you on the live chat. Unfortunately, I will be going in a moment, sadly, but I will be back with you next Sunday. Next Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time is when I'm with you next. Thank you very much for your company. I will see you later, and I will go outside now to enjoy some of this lovely, lovely sunlight. This is Mr. Duncan, refreshed, back from my holiday, saying thanks for watching. See you later. Take care of yourselves, and of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. By the way, don't forget to give me a like as well. These are very valuable to people like me on YouTube. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. It is time to go, I'm afraid. Ta-ta for now. It's great to be back.